You know what just happened in the world of athletics? Something so rare, so breathtaking, it sent shockwaves through the entire stadium in Eugene and around the world. Faith Kipyegon, the queen of middle distance running, just broke her own world record in the women's 1500 meters at the Prefontaine Classic. Yes, you heard that right. She didn't just win, she rewrote history again. And the way she did it? Cold, precise, effortless. It's as if she's racing against limits only she can see and shattering them one by one. So how did this happen? Why did this race matter more than anything we've seen all year? And what does it mean for the future of this sport and for her legacy as the greatest 1500-meter runner ever? Welcome to another episode of Athlete Aura, the place where we don't just talk about records. We talk about the emotion, the history, the fire behind every step. In this video, we're breaking down the exact moment Faith Kipyegon crushed her own world record, what made this run special, and why this could be the beginning of something even bigger. Let's get into it. The moment Faith Kipyegon stepped onto the Hayward Field track at the Prefontaine Classic, you could feel it. Something electric in the air. This wasn't just another Diamond League meet. It was the final major test before the Paris Olympics, and the biggest names in track and field had come to throw down. But for Kipyegon, it was personal. A year ago, she shocked the world by running 3:49.11 in Florence, slicing through a record many believed would last for decades. And now, here she was, back, healthy, hungry, and laser-focused. No fanfare, no theatrics, just a quiet determination in her eyes. As the race began, the pacing was brutal from the gun. The pacemakers knew exactly what they were doing. This wasn't about winning. It was about history. The first 400 meters were clocked in just under 60 seconds, a scorching pace even by elite standards. And yet, Faith Kipyegon looked unbothered. Her face was serene. Her breathing was steady. No wasted energy, no panic, just calm control. By the time they reached 800 meters, the clock read around 2:01, and that's when the separation began. Kipyegon eased to the front like it was part of her daily routine. She didn't surge wildly or force anything. She just glided past the pacer and started creating space. Laura Muir was still in the pack, trying to stay close. Deribe Welteji gave it everything she had to hang on. But it didn't matter. This wasn't a race anymore. It was a solo performance. A masterclass in pacing, efficiency, and timing. Kipyegon's stride was so compact and controlled, it was almost hypnotic. She never bounced. She never strained. She floated. With 500 meters to go, you could feel it. A chill in the stadium. Everyone realized they weren't watching just another fast race. They were watching a woman run at a pace only she could survive. And then came the moment. With 300 meters left, Kipyegon did something almost unreal. She shifted. Not a sprint, not a reckless move, just a quiet, devastating acceleration. Her cadence quickened, her form tightened. It was like a switch flipped in her mind and legs, and a new gear appeared. One most runners never find, even in a lifetime. The final bend was thunderous. The crowd stood up, many of them with their phones out, not wanting to miss this moment. The announcers were screaming. The whole stadium knew. This was it. She charged down the home stretch, and the clock blinked, 3:48:71. The stadium erupted. A new world record, her own world record, demolished. She didn't collapse. She didn't scream. She just smiled. Because she knew. We all knew. We had just witnessed one of the greatest 1500-meter races of all time. This wasn't a fluke. This was domination. Now let's take a step back and really understand what just happened. Faith didn't just break the world record. She broke her world record, and that makes all the difference. In track and field, it's already nearly impossible to touch a world record, especially in the middle distances where tactics, pacing, and oxygen efficiency all need to line up perfectly. But to do it twice? That's not just talent. That's mastery. Think about this. Before Kipyegon, the women's 1500-meter world record stood for years, held by Genzibe Dibaba at 3:50.07 seconds. And most thought it was untouchable, maybe even questionable. But in 2023, Faith took it down cleanly in Florence. And now in 2025, she's lowered it again. That's 2 sub-3:49 runs in under 2 years. Nobody has done that in history. And what's more, she does it with elegance. She doesn't need to showboat or overhype. Her performance is the message. It's also worth noting how she manages her races. Kipyegon is a master of splits. She doesn't go out too hard. She doesn't panic. She rides the wave of her training and then unleashes that final lap kick. Her last 300 meters in this race looked smoother than most athletes' warm-ups. And her facial expression? Total control. What makes this even more remarkable is that she's not just a 1500-meter specialist anymore. In 2023, she also broke the mile and 5,000 meters world records. She's stretching the boundaries of what a middle-distance runner can even be. She's not just chasing times, she's building a legacy. And now the question becomes, what's next? Because if this is where Faith Kipyegon is now, in July, just weeks away from the Olympics, then Paris might be a coronation. This wasn't just a warning shot to the world. It was a declaration. She's in shape, she's healthy, she's faster than ever, and she might be coming for more than just the 1500 meters. There's talk of a double, the 800 and the 1500. Or maybe she returns to the 5,000. Can you imagine? If she manages to win multiple golds in Paris, her status won't just be legendary, it'll be eternal. The GOAT talk won't be hypothetical, it'll be fact. She'll stand shoulder to shoulder with names like Haile Gebrselassie, Hicham El Guerrouj, and Usain Bolt, and not just because of medals or records, but because she redefined what's possible in her discipline. But even more than the stats and times, Faith represents something rare in today's sports world. Grace. She wins without ego. She doesn't trash talk. She doesn't need to. She speaks through her running, and her message is loud and clear. This is her era. So, here's the moment where we pause and appreciate greatness while it's still unfolding. Because athletes like this don't come around often. We watch, we analyze, we cheer. But sometimes we forget just how lucky we are to witness someone rewriting the laws of human potential in real time. Records. 1,500 meters, 3:49.11. June 2nd, 2023, Florence Diamond League. 5,000 meters, 14:05.20. June 9th, 2023, Paris Diamond League. 1 mile, 4 minutes, 7.64 seconds, July 21st, 2023, Monaco Diamond League. 1,500 meters, 3 minutes, 48.71, July 5th, 2025, Prefontaine Classic. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What did you feel watching her run? And do you think she'll break her own record again in Paris? If this story hit you the way it hit me, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. You've been watching Athlete Aura.